Yeah.
Maybe go over the timeline. How you said that it might have accelerated today when more teams got in.
Yeah. When I guess that was Wednesday when Kyle informed Trey of the decision with Sam being the number 2. And, I think that led to just some organic conversations between them. And Kyle came up to my office and just said, hey, as we started talking, Trey's like he always is. He's all in, but he he did suggest and ask, hey, if we could find the right opportunity, that he would appreciate that. He also said he'd be here and continue to compete. And I had a chance then to talk to Trey's agent, and I gave him my word that I'd look and see what's out there. So we started that process, and it culminated today with Dallas happening, and it felt like a long time, but it was really a short period of time, a couple days where we're talking to teams, and teams are reaching out to us, and the end result was what we ended up with.
Did you guys give them permission to seek a trade? Is that what happened?
We kind of worked on it together, and I told Patrick Collins is his rep. I told Patrick, feel free to go out and find teams if you want. So we kind of kept in communication during the process, and want to let you guys know Trey was tremendous during this whole thing. Handled it, as well as you could, and just asked if there is a good landing spot. I'd be appreciative of that. But if I'm here, I'm here. Yeah.
Traded up to get him. You gave him all those picks.
Yeah.
Why give up on a guy who's only 23 years old and only halfway through that contract?
Yeah, it's a fair question, and it's something we talked a lot about internally. Ultimately, with Brock being healthy, number 1, and we're excited about that. Sam being the number 2. The reality, it's not the way everybody works it, but with our system, the number 1 takes a lot of reps. The number 2 takes the scout team reps. It's just not a whole lot of opportunity. I heard Kyle talk about it, to get better, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to play to get better. I think that's going to be his opportunity. Play, ideally games, but play is running scout team. Play is doing all those things. We weren't going to have that, and so how do you allow a player to grow? And so, back to what we put into him. We take, believe me, we take full accountability. We own that. And, but as I said, on TV today, I think his story is very much unwritten. I've got a lot of belief in the kid, and, think with his talent, with his work ethic, he's going to forge a nice, career in this thing. And so, love the kid. Kyle and I, when we broke the news to him today, saw him light up a little bit, and he loves it here. He was very appreciative of the opportunity, like Trey, typical Trey. He apologized to us, and there was nothing for him to apologize for. And we're happy that he's got a spot, and the Cowboys came up big, and I think that's an indication that they're excited to have him, and we're excited for Trey's new opportunity, and we'll always be big fans.
It's not an optimal time to have to trade someone. Are you pleasantly surprised that you got a 4 under these conditions?
It's not what it looked like when we first started having conversation. Went anywhere close, so it did advance in a hurry today. And so. Not doing cartwheels over it, because my preference would have been that it worked out, and it didn't. And there's circumstances for that, and we can explain them away, but the reality is the reality. He had a couple opportunities. I think injuries played a part, and where we're at as a team, we felt like this was the best situation for us, also the best situation for him.
Trey fell behind Brock, which is understandable, but I think a lot of people don't understand how Trey fell behind Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Especially, we were there, we watched every snap, and I don't think it was clear to us that Sam was clearly better. What happened?
I think it was a tight battle, Grant, and I think Kyle would say the same thing. But ultimately, coaches are paid to make those decisions, and they felt collectively that Sam had separated himself, and that wasn't for lack of Trey competing his tail off and and he improved greatly. So I think we were real proud of the effort he made. Sam has had a really good camp, and you see Sam's arm talent, his abilities. I think he's a good. The same reasons why we were interested in bringing him here have kind of come to fruition. Now it's got to go happen, but ultimately we felt that was the best decision, and then I explained from there. Go ahead, Eric. Yeah.
As you know, usually when teams make a move like this for a quarterback,
Yeah.
it doesn't work out, and then it's something that
Right.
forever.
Right.
Obviously, it's still not the case with you guys.
Yeah.
You give full credit to the last 30.
Yeah.
Have you and John ever, humorously or otherwise, you said, "Man, we're really lucky"?
Yeah. Try not to look at things like that, Eric. This thing's not an exact science, but when you put that much into a player, it usually is, really tough to rebound from. Fortunately, we've been able to continue to grow this team, to make this team better, and we were very fortunate for Brock to become what he's become. Now he's got to continue to do it, but the early returns are good, and everything from his rookie year to the somewhat I won't say miraculous, but he made a hell of a return, and with some hurdles in there, starting surgery late and all that, for him to be where he's at. And we had to open our eyes and say, okay, he's cleared, but is he ready? And he kept showing us that he was. And then the other things transpired that led us to where we're at.
Take some more. We'll go over here and then we'll go Nick live.
John, it's a cap sport. How much did the salary cap ramifications of the average quarterback makes $1 million, third string quarterback
Yeah.
is making $9 million, his cap figure? How much did that cap figure and the cap implications?
I think in future years, Trey's on the minimum this year. In future years, next year it kicks up quite a bit, and that kind of coincides when our stuff's going to get tight. So, of course that plays a factor. As Kyle said, we would have loved to kept all four of those guys in the building, and Trey is I think everyone should know he's a tremendous teammate. He's a tremendous human being. And so never was it like we were worried we're going to have a malcontent. Trey told us that, hey, if I'm here, and I'm rolling. But if you could find a spot for me. And so there was some level of that, and, finding a nice landing spot for him. And I think we did that.
We'll go last one, Nick.
Going back to the process that led you to Trey when you drafted him, and
Yeah.
maybe this is hindsight a little bit, but how much do you think maybe you underestimated the gap between where you were as a team and what you needed from quarterback versus how much he needed to develop in time that you let him?
He hadn't played a ton of football, so we knew we were taking, somewhat of a chance. But, I believe to this day, if we hadn't taken him, someone would have right behind us. I think the next pick. And so I don't think we were the only ones seeing it. He's a very talented young man. He's got a lot of qualities in his makeup that lead towards, and believe me, I still think that story's unwritten. So it didn't work for us, but I think, one of the things we've been talking about and thinking about, there's all kinds of stories from, Steve Young, who sat for a while, Warren Moon up in Canada, to Kurt Warner, working in a grocery store. So I still very much have belief that he's going to become a player. Now it's just not going to be for us, and we take full accountability for that. And in some way, yeah, we got lucky on Brock, but sure, that set back our team. It would have been nice to have those picks and all that, so we do own that. And fortunately, we still have a really good football team that I think's got his a legitimate shot. We're focused on game one, but we have a championship level roster now. It's what we make of it.
I appreciate it.
Some
Yeah.
optimism that Nick Bosa will be signed by week 1?
Yeah, I do. And, we got a lot of work to do, and we'll continue to do that. He's a great player. We want him here. We need him here. Thank you.